What's up, y'all? It's me, Angel B, and welcome to the Healthy and Healed Lifestyle Exchange. On this week's segment, I'm talking with my girl Destiny, and we're going to share what it's like for survivors of sexual assault to actually share their story. Oftentimes, friends and loved ones ask us, why didn't we come to them sooner? When in reality, we know what the effects of our trauma may have on you. Sharing your trauma isn't easy, but our hope is that through this discussion, it'll help guide you and give you a better understanding. So, hey Destiny, I just want to welcome you to this segment of the Healthy and Healed Lifestyle Exchange. And today we're going to be sharing a little bit about our trauma and how we decided to come out to our family and friends, okay?
Right.
So tell us a little bit about what you went through and how it was like coming out to your family.
Right. So my first experience started when I was around 6 years old. My mom was dating a gentleman, and he started with grooming me, then eventually something sexual assaulting me. And my second incident happened when I was around 14 years old, and I was raped by someone that I didn't know who they were.
What were those experiences like telling your family?
Well, telling my mom was very hard at first, because I just didn't want to tell her, because for so long I just held it in.
Yeah.
And when I finally told her, it was just like a big relief off of me telling her, and she was definitely hurt by me sharing it with her.
So can you share the experience from when you were a child? Can you share that experience with our viewers, and when you were 14, what that experience was like?
Well, yeah, as a child, it was extremely hard because I felt like it was wrong, but I didn't know how to stop it.
Right.
And at 14, my experience was different because I felt like I wasn't acting like a rape victim. Because one of my friends before, she got raped a week before I did, and her emotions were different from mine. I was just very quiet, very still, and I felt like, well, I'm not like her, so maybe it didn't affect me as hard as what it should have, because I'm not acting that way. But through therapy, I realized that is a way that people act after rape. It's a shock. I was in complete shock.
Right. Yeah. So for me, I didn't remember my experience, right? And so telling it to someone was kind of hard for me, because it was me telling what he told me happened. And so if I didn't believe what was going on, my thing that was going through my head was like, if I can't believe myself, how are others going to believe? You know me, right? And I first had to accept what happened as rape, with me being unconscious and not being able to remember my experience, in order for me to verbally voice this to someone else, right? And so I told my family through an email. I wrote an email to my brothers, my mother, my father, and my grandmother. That was my immediate family that I told, but I didn't tell them until 7 years later. It took me going through therapy, learning how to share with people who I knew would help me through my healing journey, because I had some friends that was like, real reckless. So once I began to tell certain people, it was like, nah, we finna go after Joker, right? And I realized that was not going to help me heal through my pain, through me processing what happened to me, because I was also a virgin at the same time. It wasn't going to help me. It was going to get some stress up off me, but it wasn't going to help me heal. And so then I had to learn through those experiences that it's certain people that I can tell this to that's going to actually help me along this journey. And so I was more afraid to tell my brothers, because I have 2 older brothers, and one wasn't going to react the way that I needed him to react on the so saved side of things. And so I feared what was going to happen to the person who raped me. And I had to, get through my mind, like, it's not my position to protect him. And I feel like a lot of survivors go through that, wanting to protect either their rapist or, the people who sexually assaulted them, once we start to tell our story.
Oh, yeah.
What was that like for you? Like, because this was your mom's friend, like someone she was in a relationship with.
Yes. So I definitely was. I was scared, and I know my family, just like you say, you know, your brothers. Even now that my family know, they like, you know, some didn't know that he passed away because eventually he passed away. So they was like, oh, well, where he at now? So it's like, you know, I even at 6, I knew that it would be something really bad, but you know, I didn't say anything, and I'm realizing that I was trying to protect him, and I was fearful because I didn't know the outcome at 6 years old.
So after telling your mom, how did you feel after that? Like, what was that experience like, having that conversation with her?
A load, like, just came off of me. I just felt so free to I finally said something. And you know, we still struggle through that situation because she's still hurt and healing from that situation. But for myself, it was very freeing for me.
And I think that's very important for anyone who experienced any type of trauma to understand, is that when you do tell your experience, that's traumatizing for the person listening.
Oh, yeah.
Because they take on this responsibility as I wasn't there to protect you. And I feel like when I started to share with my friends, they was like, Angel, I'm sorry, I didn't know that happened to you. And I think the biggest thing for me was like, you don't have anything to apologize for, because I kept it from you. Like, that was definitely on me, but I also did it because that person may not have been the person to help me get through that experience. And, you know, anyone who is on the other side of trauma has to learn how to understand that. You may not be the person to help them get through, but it's important for people to know too, who have experienced trauma, that getting that weight lifted up off of you is something that's needed. So going to therapy for me was it. And I had a pastor and his wife who journeyed with me through the entire process, and I'm so grateful for them because they helped me find my new therapist. I even brought one to my therapy session. I was like, I need you to let me know if it's me or if it's them, like, because this isn't working. So I need you to call me out of my mess. And so you need those type of people. So, like, you know, you got to find the right people, you know, to tell, who's going to help you through your trauma and help you heal and overcome. Because that's the ultimate, you know, goal, is for you to heal through this entire process. So if you could give advice to anyone who's experienced any type of trauma or, you know, child molestation, sexual assault, rape, what would you say to them as far as coming out and telling their family?
First, find comfort, even if it's just talking to God at first.
Yeah.
Just try not to keep it to yourself.
Right.
And that realize that there's nothing wrong with being weak. And if just talking God is a start, then just do that. And then eventually, when you feel comfortable and safe enough, I recommend anyone to take therapy to just help you process all those emotions, because you don't know how to process them on your own.
Absolutely. I know what worked for me was doing voice recordings. And so I would record myself sharing my story and listening to me speak. And so listening to myself tell my own story was so liberating in itself. And it helped me begin to open up. And then another thing I had to realize is that it wasn't my position to protect anyone that I was telling, or how they were going to receive my response. Because while I'm going through therapy, and I tell you, you might need therapy, but it's not my position to now help you through this. So you might have to process this on your own. Like, and that's what I told my family. I didn't give them the liberty of talking to me through my rape situation, because like I said, a lot of questions was who, when, what. And I'm like, none of that is going to help me get to where I need to be, or, you know, to stay on the path of healing. And, you know, ultimately you might need your own healing journey, you know, to get through this yourself. So my hope and my goal is that people see my life and what I went through and is inspired to, you know, just heal themselves, take their own healing journey, and recover. So I want to thank you so much for just being open and vulnerable, and sharing your story on this Healthy and Healed Lifestyle Exchange.
Thank you.